Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, walkers, talkers, and celebrity stalkers, welcome along to the Joe Spiver YouTube channel, where we discuss books and little else. And welcome back to Random Reviews. You're going to have to forgive me on 2 counts, folks. If I am in any way gloomy or saturnine or seem a little bit stilted, that is on 2 counts. 1, a winter's worth of bubbling sputum has found itself a very comfortable home in my head and nasal passages. So if I do sound a bit bugged up, then that is indeed why. And also, I was making really rather merry yesterday evening, folks. It is my birthday weekend, if you do not know. And I was just indulging in the most inexcusable debauchery. I was making Lord Byron's escapades look like the commute of a dinner lady. Many things were drunk and said, but I don't feel ridiculously horrendous, so I'm playing on with a little bit of a review for you folks. So yes, welcome back to Random Reviews. Today, I don't have the book on me for reference, but hopefully it's pictured handily in the thumbnail. This is Sally Rooney's Normal People. Now, the sort of clamour and ridiculous popularity and fever pitch excitement around this writer, I have said for many months now, not made public on this YouTube channel, but between friends and in email exchanges, it amounts to a cult, folks. Normal People is her most famous work, I believe. It's certainly her most popular. It's a million copy bestseller. My copy has 2 individuals in the fetal position in some sort of sardine can, and yes, it is, what should we say, unadventurous, tepid, benign, lazy, dull, cliched, one-layered, all of those, evil pejoratives that I could issue out for it to describe it. What happens in the bloody thing? There is, it focuses on two school students who are first adolescents at sort of high school, what you Americans would call high school and what we would call secondary school, or sort of A-level sixth form college. Marianne, who is unpopular and intelligent and therefore cynical and sort of insular, introverted, socially inept and cautious, and all of those other characteristics. And she's top of the class, but she is not somebody who anybody would want to be seen dead with. She doesn't lark out on the streets or do anything ridiculous like that. She curls up in the library with her favourite book as a pastime, rather than playing hopscotch on the playground with all of the cool kids, or playing kissy cats with her friends or her lovers. And you have on the other end of the spectrum, we have Connell, who is a sort of a much bigger, more physically imposing and attractive man who is, much more popular, is a star of the school football team, is the centre forward for a football team, for the school football team. And yes, he is, as I've said, Marianne is somebody that Connell wouldn't be seen dead with, and it just so happens that Connell's mother, whose name I've forgotten because it's the same thing that would appear on the back of a cereal packet. His mother cleans for Marianne's family. Marianne, it is made very, very obvious, explicitly and unironically, is woefully middle class, much like you guys have said that I am, or my deportment signifies, and Connell's family are working class, and therefore, she does a bit of cleaning for her, and that's how they meet. And the initial jeopardy and frisson and tete-a-tete and the, that really exciting opening exchange between 2 potential lovers that has so typified, Austen's novels and, any other Regency romance is completely disbanded with, completely put to the floor, completely made, rendered useless when Sally Rooney describes in excruciating and pornographic detail their sexual meanderings thereafter. All of a sudden, somebody who has been admittedly voyeuristic but has not seemed sexually interested at all, somebody who feels guarded and, not very explorative whatsoever, suddenly everybody's turning into Johnny Sins, and, everything's the front of a Playboy magazine. And frankly, folks, the whole course of the novel then follows that nobody is likeable in the bloody thing. Everybody is, or almost everybody is, somehow sort of narcissistic and, just altogether self-satisfied and arrogant and ridiculously self-confident, which you would have thought would have attracted me to the damn thing. but I'm afraid it did not, folks. So I was thinking to myself whilst reading it. I was thinking, as one does, because I'm reading Martin Amis's The War Against Cliché as well at the moment, which is a collection of non-fiction essays, some of his musings and reactions on, mostly novels from the 19th and 20th centuries. And I was thinking, well, if I was Amis and I'd been given, £2,500 to write a 2,000-word review for the New Statesman or whatever, what am I getting from this? And I was thinking to myself, I'm struggling to suspend disbelief in it because it's so obviously a book. That is the job of the novelist, folks. I know that we've dwelt on this in the past. They are supposed to, obviously, you're giving yourself up to somebody else, and they are supposed to distract you from the postman and, taking out the coal and the ashes and the tyre screechings that are going on outside and the pyrotechnical firework display for New Year's Eve. They're supposed to distract you from that and give you obviously a sort of a sequestered mini world in there, whether that's world building in fantasy or whether it's introspective contemporary fiction. They're supposed to suspend disbelief and present believable characters to you, and Sally Rooney doesn't do that. Marianne, Connell, Lorraine, that's her name I was forgetting, and many other people in the novel are just sort of mutable Playmobil toys. They have arms and they have legs, and boy do they have organs of generation, but they're sort of faceless Playmobil toys who you think you could easily sort of interpolate their hair, their hairstyles or whatever. They aren't realistic. They aren't real. And unfortunately, Miss Rooney has never got the hand of that. And because of the success of these novels, of course, that has made, the emoluments that she's been given as a result of their success has meant that, the monthly rent in the penthouse suite in any city across the globe is but chicken feed to Miss Rooney. She is the most popular and yet, I believe, convincingly least effective writer of the lot. She is unerringly terrible, if that's not a tautology. She never fails to disappoint. And I want to sort of get at this because obviously I've been having chats with some of my family and some of my friends, not about this book in particular, but about reactions to books in general, and the almost universal response to my chagrin and taking umbrage with Miss Rooney's work is a sort of a shrugging of the shoulders or a throwing up of the hands and saying, oh well, la-di-da, it's all subjective and each to one's own and yada yada yada. But this is not true, folks. As moderate and mature readers, or at least that's what I'm trying to cultivate myself as, and therefore you guys, I believe we, a long time ago, learnt to divorce a difference, or discern a difference between that which we enjoy and that which we can declare as being objectively meritable and good. And, something that might not quite sort of stick with us or stimulate us, but something that you can recognise has been done by an expert. And when you are reading it, you feel as if you are in the presence of somebody who's worked jolly hard on this book and isn't just spitting out the closest thing that comes to mind, or heaven forbid, borrowing off ChatGPT. If that's defamatory, Miss Rooney, then, I don't know, lawyer up, I guess. Yes, it doesn't seem to me that, I draw an effective cause between the Trump cult and the Sally Rooney cult. I wouldn't for one instance suggest that the Sally Rooney cult is anywhere near as dangerous as the Trump cult. They're not going to be wearing jackboots and knocking on your door at midnight. But intellectually, I don't think I draw very much of a distinction between Sally Rooney's fans and Donald Trump's supporters. It has been a much glorified sentiment of Sally Rooney's work that many of her supporters or readers, acolytes, would very, very happily read her shopping list as much as they would read her novels. They'd pay $22.99 to read her shopping list and her diary entry and her tax returns and, any other random sputum that she or any other slime that she wants to throw across the kitchen work surfaces. And that is the definition of a cult, almost certainly. It is an almost, what would you say? It's not a preternatural, but it's certainly an irrational belief in the unswerving, ineluctable inerrancy of your leader or your potentate or your supremo, and that's what it is with Sally Rooney. She obviously, because she has set out her stall in such a terrible and execrable way, writing such pitiful codswallop, she will, she can never get any worse, and therefore everybody will always love everything that she comes out with. What are the other stuff? Conversation with Friends and Beautiful World, Where Are You? Or, the latter of which I think takes place largely over email. I haven't gotten to that because I refuse to part with whatever it would be, £10 at a local bookstore for the paperback. So yes, it's deflating, folks. It really, really is. And she is obviously called the writer of her generation. But you can see why it is that she is called that, because she is a writer for a generation that do not read. In other words, she is the most skillful gardener in the metropolis, as it were. Her services are no longer required, really. I would much rather she go into an apprenticeship course on, whatever, organising the post office, or embezzling money, or reinventing or efficientising the microwave, or something like that, or doing flooring and a carpet underlay. Anything that, makes sure that she puts away her keyboard and drains her pen of ink, folks, because it is really, really awful. Again, I don't mind you saying that you enjoyed the book and it spoke to you in some way, but do not tell me that it is objectively really, really very good. Those are two different things. I, for example, as I've told you in this video already, do enjoy going down to the local public house of a weekend and having a few lager beers, and then when I get, on the way back, me and Grand Viceroy Spivey will have a doner kebab, and that doner meat, even though I know it's made of a concatenation of chair leg and dolphin spleen and all sorts, and shower gel and all sorts of ink and all sorts of other nonsense. It's never seen a sheep, for goodness sake. Even though I know it's like that, I know it's very, very enjoyable. But I'm not putting the damn stuff up for a Michelin star, folks. I think that analogy holds water, as it were. I'm even mixing analogies and metaphors now. Yes. You can like something, and you can wallow in it, and you can bathe in it. That's all well and fine, but don't tell me that it's really, really very good and nutritious, because it's not. So yes, I think this counts as just some sort of one long peroration or a disquisition or a rant or something. I'm not really sure. I haven't got the book to hand because I've eaten the thing. I'd much rather eat the thing rather than read it. So I haven't got it to hand. I'd love to read you out some of the inane and what seems to be deliberately useless passages. She seems to just grab for the first simile, the first metaphor that she can find, rather than ponder and chin stroke a little bit and try to make her work a little more insightful, as it were, into the human condition. So if I'm missing out on something, if there is a storied reviewer out there who thinks that Sally Rooney is excellent, then please do let me know down in the comments, and I would be more than happy to reassess my thoughts. Will Self, my favourite writer, I think was caught on, maybe not caught on camera, but recorded as saying that she was telling millennials what they want to hear, but was expressing no true, sort of literary ambition that he could see. And he was lambasted for that, and he was absolutely damn correct, and he's since crawled back because I don't know, he doesn't want the blue-haired members of the Twitterati to come and throw stones into his living room window. But yes, that pretty much covers it for today, folks. I am 22 years old tomorrow morning, and yes, so I've been making rather merry, so hopefully I haven't seemed too gloomy or too despondent or in any way boring or inconsequential. I thought I might as well just come on here and share some of my thoughts on who I think to be the worst and yet sort of counterintuitively most popular writer of our times. But yes, I should be much more positive. In my next video, I'm going to be doing a Zoom call with Steve Donoghue where we're going to be talking about parting out books and texts and seeing what's good and what's bad. So, technology permitting, I'm sure that will be possible Tuesday or Wednesday time. So yes, I'm going to cut this short of 15 minutes. So, and I'm going to say thank you ever so much for watching BookTube, and goodbye.